Oh
A
man,
lot, a lot.
you talking about rehearsing with Ornette? Let me tell you something. We start rehearsal. Mind you that we lived with Ornette in his school that he had. He had the top two floors, I think, the third and the fourth floor. And we had cots in there that we slept on the floor. It was comfortable. I mean, it wasn't a bed, but we was comfortable. And rehearsals with Ornette was some of the most wonderful, intense, and long rehearsals that I ever did. Now, we're talking about maybe starting rehearsal at 11:30 in the morning. He had us set up like it was a classroom in a circle with him sitting in the middle, facing us. He had all our music there. We would start at 11:30, 12 o'clock, rehearse for 3 hours and say, okay, fellas, go have you something to eat, some lunch, breakfast, and whatever at 2 or 3 in the afternoon. We would get back about 4, 4:30. We rehearse until like 1 in the morning. I'm talking about maybe 9 hours a day. And then after that, you say, okay, well, we going to bed now. I remember one night after rehearsal, I'm laying down, can ready to go to sleep. Ornette come taps you on the shoulder and say, Calvin, I want you to listen to the rehearsal today. He recorded every rehearsal. And I'm like, whoa, to myself, I'm like, whoa, man, I'm trying to go to sleep. But you couldn't say no. You couldn't say no, and then I'm trying to go to sleep, man. No, you took the recorder with the headphones and you listened to the rehearsal. Well, you listened to the rehearsals that you could, much as you can before you fell asleep. I used to fall asleep with the headphones in my ear, you know, and everything helped, everything worked, you know, and I was very, very fortunate to get in that band and to learn uh, his music as well as I could, and I'm very, very, very grateful and very thankful for that. It's it's a learning experience.
And James Garver's music, it, at that time in the 80s, it could be many things. Like there were elements of rock,
Yeah.
blues, and funk, and free, harmonic. Which of those elements you like to play with him the most? And which was the most demanding, except the, you know, uh,
Well, it's
setup?
well when you playing an artist music, when you hired to play someone else's music, all their music is demanding.
Okay.
Okay, you want to try to make it the best you can to satisfy them, also to satisfy you. You want to be feel comfortable playing the tunes the way they like to hear it, and you want to feel good about yourself playing what you're playing. So all this music is very demanding. I like playing all of it. The free stuff, I think mostly. And his style of funk was very unique. So from the funk that I was used to playing in the 70s to James Blood Omer funk, took me to another level of how I heard funk. And he would we would rehearse with James Blood Omer the same way we would rehearse with Ornette when especially when me and Amin Ali was in the group. Rashid Ali's son. Yeah, he lives in Philly also. So it was very intense. We rehearsed a lot in this place called the Dungeon. We called it the Dungeon was because it was like on the bottom floor of James Blood Ulmer's apartment, and it had no ventilation, no windows. Modeschio! What's up, baby? John Modeski just passed. That's my man. Anyway, it had no windows. All we had was two fans blowing down there. And at that time, it was two drummers in James Blood band, myself and Ronald Sandon Jackson. And Ronald, God bless your soul, brother, up in heaven. We got along really good. I played off of what I heard him playing. He played off of me, and we rehearsed like 8-9 hours a day. So, phew, I had a lot of rehearsals. And long rehearsals at that. But I enjoyed them all. I enjoyed them all.
You told us about the rehearsals with Ornette Coleman, and by the way, I was thinking about not everybody is able to afford 2 floors in New York City and having the musicians with him for many days. On the other hand, we read in books about history of jazz, he was not maybe understand it correctly, or people didn't accept the music of Ornette Coleman. It seems that he was a successful musician, financially also.
At that point.
At that point,
I don't know his financial status or anything like that. I just when he called, I went to go play. That's all I know. And he used to tell us stories about when he first came to New York, and when he got up on stage to play, they kicked him off the stage.
yeah.
Because they didn't know. I say, what is this guy playing? This is not the standard kind of jazz that we hearing in smoke-filled jazz clubs. What is he playing? He's playing something else. He's not playing the chord changes or whatever. No, get off the stage. Get off the stage.
Yeah. It was 20 years earlier.
Yeah. Well, come to find out that those musicians that's alive today that kicked him off the stage is trying to immortalize his music. Because I guess they realizing now that, man, this guy was smoking. He was playing stuff that we trying to learn right now. So hey, yes, Ornette was the man. Ornette was the man. And his son, Donardo, he explained to me that he never told Donardo what to play because Donardo was playing with him since he was a young boy.
Yeah.
And he didn't tell Donardo nothing. He just blew his horn, and Donardo played what he felt, what he heard to play. So, and when I heard Donardo play, I was like, whoa. I mean, me, a drummer coming from playing funk and stuff and avant-garde and stuff like that, at that time, I'm like, the same way the guys thought about Ornette. What is he playing? Come to find out that he was playing off of the sound that he heard around Ornette's melodies. And when I found that out, I was like, damn, Donardo, that's a bad dude. He playing, So I learned from that also. That's the way I configured it. That's the way I configure music now. You know.
And after the years with Ornette and James Madonna, you started to play with John Lurie,
Oh
and
yeah.
that's a little bit different music.
As a musician, that's what you want. If you a serious musician, somebody that's not doing it for a hobby, evidently this is not a hobby for me. This is the
Okay.
way I raise my family. This is the way I pay my bills. Somebody asked me, Calvin, how much would you charge to do this? I add up my phone bill, my rent, my kids' school tuition, gas in my car, gas, electric bill, and I said, okay, this is how much I charge because I have to pay those bills. Now, playing with John Lurie, whoo, was fun. John Lurie is a loving, wonderful person. His brother Evan, I just love those guys. And when I got into that group, it was a whole nother thing too because everything was really structured. All the music was structured. At the end of 9 bars, you played this. Then you played this for 4 bars. Then you build this up to come into this section. So that was a lot of thinking type music because you had to be on cue with everything that he played. And most of all, it was fun doing that because it had you think you just ain't going up there to play. You really have something that is structured to play. And he wrote it like that. And
And the
It was great.
result has a special kind of charm.
yeah. It has a special charm because you have these nice silky type melodies that John Lurie is playing. Then you have the horn section with Stephen Bernstein and Michael Blake playing, these certain lines. Some you hitting. Then you had a percussionist in the group, whereas though he had plenty percussionists, E.J. Rodriguez, Mauro Fosco at one time, Billy Martin at one time, and even John Medeski
Yeah.
played
Yes.
with us at one time. And, so me and the percussionists had to kind of play off of each other and had certain cues that he would play where I would come in and I would play where he would come in. So it was very structured music. That was a real experience, and not mentioning the fun we had on the road, with going out in dark fields, cornfields and stuff, and the countries of Germany, and walking in the dark and coming up on a farm where we on other people's property. We would have fun like that. We would just go out in the dark and just walk in the field and come up on a shack and go inside of it, and it was pigs and cows and stuff and all kinds of stuff, and then we shining the light and looking like, oh, what's that? I mean, like, let's get out of here. We used to have fun like that. I mean, tell you the truth, it was one time me and John in Germany or something. I don't know. Let's say we seen this bicycle out on the street. It wasn't chained up, so we got on it and just started riding through the town. He was he was pedaling the bike. I was sitting on the back. Fun things like that. I'm glad to say that the bike that we took did get their bike back. So, they got their bike back. We was doing it for fun. But he quite a arranger. John Lurie was quite an arranger, and the movies that we did